Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Alison DiBarto Goggin with Little Black Bag Medicine, and today I wanted to come and talk to you about some signs that you might not have considered that would indicate that you need digestive support. So, the number one sign is loss of tolerance to chemicals or chemical sensitivity. So, if you can no longer tolerate perfumes or makeups or the smells around you or in your home, and they really begin to affect you. You might notice that you have headaches, you might get sinus infections more easily, you might have your lungs might swell up or flare up and be coughing. That's actually a sign that your gut is starting to have some issues like leaky gut, where all of those things are starting to penetrate. Your body can't get rid of them as well. Your liver can't cycle them and package them in your bile as well. So if you have a loss or a tolerance to chemicals and smells, that might be a sign that you need to get some gut support. The other sign that is not common related is pain between the shoulder blades or in the shoulders. So this is my favorite story about chiropractic because so many people say, oh, I have this pain along my bra line. It hurts really bad. And I went to the chiropractor. I got adjusted. I felt great for a couple hours. And then, man, it came right back. So these chiropractors, they just make you keep showing up and showing up. They don't know what they're doing. Well, that's actually not what's happening. What's happening is that your stomach is inflamed, but it doesn't have the same pain receptors as your joints or your back does. So what happens is your stomach becomes inflamed and it sends out those chemical messengers to your back, to your spine, but your spine has those receptors for pain. So your back is actually experiencing physical pain. So you go, oh, I just need to get adjusted. My muscles hurt. Get adjusted, your back's aligned, but your stomach's still inflamed. So then what happens? You feel good for a little bit, your stomach sends those messages back, and you go, oh gosh, I gotta get adjusted again. So if you find that you're getting adjusted over and over and over again, and it's just not touching, you're just not holding, one of the reasons why might be that your internal organs are so inflamed, and that is sending the signal to your spine to cause inflammation. So get your organs checked out if you're not responding. Shoulder pain is my favorite thing because this is what triggered me in my chiropractic journey to go deeper into the body and say, well, I struggled with right shoulder pain my whole life. I was a swimmer in high school, went through physical therapy, did everything, diagnosed tendonitis, rotator cuff issues. Nothing fixed it except for to stop exercising. But what I found out is that the gallbladder refers pain to the right shoulder. The stomach refers pain to the left shoulder. Think about it like if you're having a heart attack. You don't go, oh, my heart. You go, oh, my shoulder, oh, my jaw, oh, my neck. That's where we have those pain receptors at. So the more that my shoulder hurts, I go, oh man, I need my enzymes. I need to start working on my diet. What's causing that pain? And then, of course, acupuncture, lifestyle, chiropractic, everything combined will help. But that physical pain is coming from somewhere else. It's a referred pain from deeper within the body. So if you're having constant pain that isn't being addressed by physical therapy, massage, chiropractic, look a little bit deeper. So digestive help, shoulders, and the bra line, mid-back pain between the shoulder blades. Okay, another one is, I got a long list here, so I got to make sure I go through everything. Rashes. Rashes are the most common thing to occur when the liver, the gallbladder, and the entire gut is starting to shut down. So eczema, typically related to the gut, psoriasis, typically related to the liver, rosacea is more linked to the gut because it's autoimmune. So we can address those autoimmune issues through the gut. Dandruff, issues on the scalp is often related to gallbladder as well as yeast. And then we have those yeast overgrowths from the gut, and we have this huge big circle where our body's just trying to express itself and it's coming out in our skin. So fun story. I don't even know if you can see it anymore, but right here, this is kind of what I mean by a chemical tolerance, where I went and I got kinesio tape, the off-brand stuff at Target, because I was in a hurry to tape up my shoulder because it was hurting. And I left it on for a few days, and lo and behold, I have this major painful rash now because of the tape. Lucky me. So this is a loss of tolerance. This is a rash coming from the tape, the intolerance to the chemicals that were on there. And now I know, and it's so slow to heal. So if you're having something that's slow to heal, that's also a gut issue that needs to be addressed. Something's going on in the lymphatic tissue of your gut and that system as well. So acne, sometimes acne can be related to the gut hormones. That's a whole nother story, so we won't have to go down there. So let's go to acid reflux. Now, that sounds obvious, right? Well, yeah, if you're having acid reflux, that's a digestive issue. We need digestive support. But here's the trick that I want you to understand is that most people say, I have acid reflux, I'm making too much acid, how do we suppress that? Whereas only like 10% of the population actually has too much acid in their stomach. Here's the long story as quick as I can get it. When we eat, food goes into our stomach. We have two parts of our nervous system. Sympathetics are the fight and flight. The parasympathetics are the wine and dine. Now, most of us live our lives and eat our food while living in the sympathetic state. We're scrunched up, we're eating at our desk, we're hurrying through, we barely taste our food, we're eating in the car, on the way to work, on the way home, on the way to get the kids somewhere, we're not even breathing. Half the time, people finish their meals and tell me, I don't remember what I ate, because they're so unaware of what's going on. So what happens when you are eating in the sympathetic state, that fight or flight, it turns down the parasympathetics, which is the digestive system. So our food can't be totally digested. We're not going to make enough acid. So then what happens is that the food sits in the stomach, it sits on that lining, and it starts to rot. The small intestines don't want to take it because it's undigested. So where does it go? It's going to go up. It's going to start releasing its own acid until it can be a little bit more digested. And then we're taking things like Tums or OTC meds and suppressing that digestion even more. We get more and more and more sick. So what do? We have to support the stomach with hydrochloric acid and digestive enzyme, things like that. We have to focus on breathing, turning down the sympathetics while we're eating to make sure we're in a relaxed state, get our shoulders back, breathe, chew our food. Oh my God, is that too much to ask? Yes, it is. I know. I have 2 boys in my house that don't chew food, and just really focus on how to deal with that. Another reason we have acid reflux is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, also known as SIBO. And this is a whole nother class, but I just wanted to give you this as something to go, well, Alison, I'm already taking enzymes and I'm taking probiotics. It hasn't touched my acid reflux. There might be another reason why. So SIBO is when our small intestines starts growing too much bacteria. So the small intestines are a really interesting field of play for our digestive system. So we have a lot of acid in our stomach. It goes into our small intestines. So the acid from our stomach actually kind of kills off a lot of bacteria in our small intestines, which it should, so it can really absorb the nutrition from our food. And then when we get into our large intestines, there's a lot more flora and there are a lot more probiotics, good bacteria, bad bacteria. So when we have too many bacteria in our small intestines, that will create a lot of different issues. So that type of bacteria loves carbs. Oh my goodness. They love to eat carbs. They have a party, and what they do is they create gas all day long. They just love to create gas with carbs. And so what does that look like? It looks like distension, it looks like bloating, it looks like downstairs gas, but it can also look like acid reflux. It can look like burning in the chest, pain in the chest, heart attack type pain, shoulder pain again. So if you find that what you're doing for your stomach isn't helping and all those digestive enzymes aren't helping, it might actually be an underlying small intestine infection. So there you go. Reflux can be from a lot of different things. 9 times out of 10, it will not be because you're making too much acid. It's because you're not making enough. And we have to figure out why. Is it a physiological issue? Is it an emotional issue? Is it a mental issue? Is it a nervous system issue? What's going on there? Okay, so we covered upstairs gas. The next one is downstairs gas, bloating, gas. Now, we talked about SIBO. Another interesting thing for you to know is that, again, if you're having gas quickly after you eat, say about 30 minutes after you eat, and you're like, wow, I'm really bloated right after I ate, I'm having a lot of gas, a lot of acid reflux, that might be because you're not breaking down your carbs. And because those are digested the most quickly, that's why you're going to have gas the most quickliest. I don't know. I'm out of English today. I'm very sorry. Not very doctor-like. You're not going to, I don't even know where I was. Quickliest. You're going to break down carbs fast. You're going to have gas fast. How's that? Now fats and proteins take a little bit longer to digest. So if you say, oh, I don't have anything right after I eat, but maybe 3 hours after I eat, whew, I have a lot of gas. I can clear out a room. Or even if you find that you have acid reflux that's really delayed after you eat, so you're not breaking down your protein and you're not breaking down your fat. So that's gallbladder, because those the bile has those enzymes in it. And so we have to focus on how do we break down proteins? Are you eating the right type of protein for your body? And how about fats? Are you eating the right type of fat? Is it too processed? Is it too heavy? Is it too little? What's going on there? So it's just an interesting way to take a look at not only the foods that you're eating, but how your body's responding to them. And then the last thing I have written down is constipation, which again seems obvious, but a lot of people don't realize that constipation can look different ways for different people. So if you have constipation, typically medically that means you're not going to the bathroom more than like once a week. That's when we can write down that's like true constipation. Now, constipation might look like you're going once a day, but it's at night and you're just like painful and you're cramping and you're like, oh my gosh, I really wish I could go. I have that urge. There's something wrong, but you're not going. So that can also be a type of constipation. So the ideal is that you go every time you eat, because every time you eat a large meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, everything, all the valves in your body open. They're like, let's make room. Let's make room. She's eating more food. Let's make room. And then you go to the bathroom. That's great because you're just constantly shifting food out of your system. Now, if you are not opening those valves or you're just shoving more food in and you have that constipation, that's where that bloating and distension and pain comes in. You're not absorbing your food. You don't feel good. You can't lose weight. So ideally, you're going 1 to 3 times a day, that you have solid bowel movements that aren't painful, no blood. Mucus is a huge sign that you're having leaky gut issues, that the lining of your gut is changing. Another thing that people don't recognize as really constipation is what we call rabbit poops. So little, small, hard poops that are causing pain because your stools aren't being able to be formed correctly or all the way. To me, I found the most success putting people on enzymes. And you know what? Probiotics are amazing. I love them. I take them all the time, but they are not a really good answer for all of these issues because it's more top down. It's really coming from the stomach not having enough acid to digest proteins, the gallbladder not being able to make bile or release it correctly, or maybe you don't even have a gallbladder, which I talked about in my last post, and then by the time it hits your large intestines, everything's already fallen apart. So probiotics for your large intestines aren't really going to do anything. So a functional standpoint, well, what do you do now, is really about what's the root cause of all of this? Why is this happening? Let's not just give everybody enzymes and everybody probiotics and hope it works. Number one, do you have an infection? Do you have SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth? Do you have parasites? Do you have yeast? There's a million things. So we can do an organic acids test, where it's a urine test, super easy. It's basically like an exhaust test for a car. What's in there? What's going on? What's being put out? Is there an infection? We can also do a stool test to see that as well. How are you digesting your food? Do you have enough enzymes? Do you have the right type of good and bad bacteria and a good balance in your gut? Do you need enzymes, and what type of enzymes do you need? A lot of people need everything. Most people need everything. Some people need really specific enzymes and a lot more of them, especially if you don't have a gallbladder. We need to work on that. And then again, when we do those specific type of tests, we can look at the ratio of good bacteria and bad bacteria. Do you need probiotics? Probably, a lot of people do. But again, what strain of probiotics do you need? So when you look at your probiotic box, you'll notice that there's all so I use Pediassist Junior from doTERRA. It's just phenomenal. And I like it because it has rhamnosus in it, and I find that my body reacts the best to this one. You might not. We have to figure out what works for your body. So these are my go-to for that. Again, food sensitivities. If you are down to just eating chicken and broccoli or just chicken and carrots because everything else makes you so sick, that is not a good way to live. We need to figure that out for you. If you're eating everything and you don't care, or you can't figure out which foods exactly are causing these issues, then that's when we can do testing. That's when we can do elimination diets. That's when we can start playing. There's so many different types of diets that are good for the gut. There's low FODMAPs, there's paleo type eating, there's Whole30, there's carbohydrate. Why do I always forget this one? This is really embarrassing. I'm sorry. I have to post it. This is funny. So apparently I have a lot of brain fog today because I forgot to take my NeuroFlam and my supplements for it. There's like low carbohydrate and carbohydrate specific diet. That's what it is, CSD. And it just really is very close to low FODMAPs. So it'll help you understand what type of carbs that your body can tolerate and cannot tolerate, which is really specific with SIBO as well. And then autoimmune. If you have an autoimmune issue in your gut, you're going to have an autoimmune issue everywhere. And when we have loss of tolerance and leaky gut in our gut, that is step one for autoimmune conditions. So gluten actually looks structurally a lot like the thyroid. So when we have a gluten sensitivity and we keep eating gluten, we keep getting hit with it, our immune system tags it, and then our immune system's up at our thyroid, they're like, I think this is gluten, and it'll go for your thyroid. And this happens over and over and over again, and you wake up one day and you have Hashimoto's, and you're like, what happened? I don't understand. And it's because of these food sensitivities. So step one is cleaning up the gut, healing the gut, re-inoculating the gut, making sure there's no infections, and then going in and saying, where is this inflammation at? Where is this being caused by? Is it lifestyle? Is it stress? Is it your nervous system? Do you need to be adjusted and have everything calm down? So there is so much to this, as you can tell, that it can be really complicated to do on your own. So I'm here to help you and support me, or support you. Shoot me a message after I take my NeuroFlam, and that way we can talk about what's going on with your digestive system specifically. What are your autoimmune issues? What does your blood work look like? And make a plan that's crafted specifically for you so you can feel better. Because I'll tell you what, I talk to a lot of women who say, I can't go out to eat anymore because if I go out to eat, I'm going to shit my pants at the restaurant, and I just can't. I can't go to the zoo, I can't go to the park with my kids, or I can't eat the whole day because otherwise I'm out. So that's no way to live. We got to get you cleaned up so you can enjoy your life and feel good and be with your family and enjoy food again. Wouldn't that be amazing? So hit me up here on Facebook. Shoot me an email at yourOilDoc@gmail.com, or you can schedule a free consultation online at littleblackbagmedicine.com. Let me know if you have any questions or anything in this resonated with you, and I'd love to chat with you. All right, thanks guys. Have a great day.